is up? Welcome back to the channel Hot Mess Mamas. My name is Callan. If you're new, typically I'm sitting by my very best friend Elena, but today I'm going to do something on my own, something near and dear to my heart. I'm going to be talking about baby signs and how useful they are, and I'm going to give you a few signs to start out with for your baby. But before we do that, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button. I'm sorry I've been away for a while, but we're getting right back on track. I post every Tuesday and Thursday here on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to start this video off with a little story time just to let you guys know how, as a young mom, how I got into using baby signs and why I started to use them and everything like that. So here we go. Let's get right into it. Ever since Ryder was little, he's always been very advanced in all his motor skills. I used to take him to the little gym, and he was the first baby to start sitting up, to start crawling in his little group. He was the first to start walking and everything, and he was very advanced. I mean, he started walking at he was 10 months old in like 3 weeks. He was right before he was 11 months old. But with all of that success at running around, walking around, and, getting into things was so exciting. I also, as a mom, as a new mom, struggled with, but he's not talking. Why is he not talking? And so I said something. I was my baby's advocate, of course, as all moms should be. Go into the doctor and they would say, like, okay, is your baby doing this? Is your baby saying 25 words? Is your baby saying 50 words? Your baby should be saying 200 words. I was like, he's not. He is not. And not only was he not talking a lot, but his words sounded like he wasn't finishing the word. It's hard to explain that to you guys, but basically he would say mama, dad, and hi, and it all sounded normal. But then when he would say, like, bird is a perfect one. He used to say burr, and then he didn't finish the word bird, So when he was 12 months old, when he was a year old, I was like, okay, he's not talking, something must be wrong. They at the doctors, they just were like, oh, every child's different. I'm not concerned about it yet. So I went in for his 15-month appointment. They still told me that they were not concerned. At his 18-month appointment, I said, you know what, you guys, I really, really am, though. I mean, he's so smart. He understands everything that I'm saying, but he can't say it back to me. And sometimes I know it's not okay to compare two children, but sometimes just as a buffer, you can start to notice if your child is falling behind. It's okay if he's not saying his ABCs or anything like that, but he's barely saying anything at all. And I was also dealing with Ryder having horrible temper tantrums. He would just get so frustrated because he thought I didn't understand what he wanted. So if my answer was no, like most toddlers, he would get upset. But Ryder would get very, very, very frustrated. It was so hard for me to watch. But he's come so far with his speech. I'm sorry. I've been through so much with Ryder that he has made so many leaps and strides and bounds, and he's going places, and he can talk now. But man, I went through a lot before this. Whew, this child put me through so much. So when he was 18 months old, I finally said to the doctors, like, no, that's it. Like, you guys have to help me. There's something really wrong here. So we started to go through the steps. And so for any mama that may be going through this, I thought that it would be helpful if I told you the steps that I went through. That is probably a protocol to trying to figure out why a child's speech is delayed or isn't happening. And for me, it was first going to he had a hearing appointment, just like a regular hearing appointment, and he passed that. So I think that their reasoning for doing that was just, if your child isn't talking, they want to make sure that they can hear what you're saying in the first place, make sure, that goes hand in hand. So make sure that one side of the puzzle is working, and then we'll start putting together the other side. So then I finally went into like a speech counselor, I guess, and I had like a huge consultation with her. This appointment probably took about an hour, and it consisted of me answering multiple questions, and I tried to be like as I tried to answer the question as directly as I could. I followed up most of the questions with a story about what I was trying to say. So if she asked me, like, does Ryder understand what you're saying? I would say, oh yeah, absolutely. You know, at 18 months old, if I said to him, you know, put your cup on the counter or on the table, you know, because he couldn't reach the counter, he understood, he would do it, you know? So by the end of this, she told me that his cognitive speech was 100% and that his actual like verbal speech was a 69. Or no, it was a 70 or a 71. So that meant that he was above what the point should have been if they were actually going to give him speech therapy and everything like that. So I was a little bit frustrated because I was like, man, but he's not, you know, he's not talking, and he gets frustrated, and it's hard to deal with these tantrums because he can't express himself. And I felt like I wasn't getting help. I felt like they were like, no, she told me verbatim, word for word, she said, your son is delayed in speech, but by the time he goes to kindergarten, you won't be able to tell. And he's just talking later. And he doesn't need any speech therapy or anything. He'll be fine, is what she told me. And at the time, I was like, 22? Yeah, I was like almost 22 years old. First baby. I'm thinking, okay, all right, fine. You know, I just listened to her. And, you know, I don't take back that I did, because this story does actually have a very positive outcome. So because she told me that she wasn't going to put him in any speech classes, therapy, anything like that, I took it upon myself, and I was like, you know what? No, I can't live like this. I can't live with him being so frustrated all the time, trying to communicate with me. If he doesn't want to talk yet, fine. I won't force him to. But we've got to find a better way to communicate, and that is through research and everything like that. I found baby signs. And before I found baby signs, I never knew that baby signs were a thing. I thought that only people who can't hear use sign language. And it's funny because when I first started like posting on social media all of Ryders' signs that he could do, because, you know, they just looked so cute doing it, and I was so proud. He learned them so quick. It was so easy to teach him. I was so proud, and so I would post videos, and I remember one time my uncle commented and said, oh, I didn't know Ryder was deaf. And I was like, oh no, he's not deaf, he can hear, he just doesn't talk. So I give him signs, and it helps us communicate, and it definitely, in my experience, it did help with the tantrums a little more. It did make Ryder feel a little bit more confident, like, okay, she gets it. You know, we're communicating. I'm able to show her and put emphasis on what I'm trying to say. So you know, you could tell Ryder just became a whole new kid. With all of that being said, I want to jump right into some benefits to using baby signs, if you couldn't already tell from the story that I told you. So first off, number one, if your baby can hear it, you can still use baby signs. The second piece of information that I want to tell you is using baby signs as early as from the day you bring them home from the hospital is only beneficial to you and the baby, because you start getting used to using the signs and your baby has always seen them. And the third thing that I want to tell you is that babies have like the hand-eye coordination and the motor skills to be able to actually do the signs back to you around 9 or 10 months old. So Maddox is right at that age where he should be signing back to me very soon. And sometimes if you're just starting on baby signs, it can be overwhelming. Or sometimes you'll forget to, you know, you'll have like a very good scenario that you could have used a baby sign, but you forgot. And that's okay. It's okay if you forget. You can always do it next time, or even if they're like halfway done eating, you can, you know, say, eat. Oh, you're eating, you know, just sit right in front of them and just keep doing it. I noticed that when I use baby signs to Max, I have more of his attention. I mean, as a baby, you're talking to him, whatever. He's like crawling over here, doing this, doing that. But when I use a baby sign, he's like staring at me like, oh, You know, like I've seen you do that before. Like, what are you doing with your hand? They're watching your hands anyways. You know what I mean? So just if you forget to do it, it's okay. I have a neighbor that I told her, you know, you should do some baby signs, and now her little one's got like 4, 5, 6 baby signs that she's doing, and it looks so cute. And I'm so proud of her for showing her baby. And because she would tell me, you know, oh, I always forget, I don't do it, you know. Or if I was around her and she would give her baby a snack or something, I'd say, girl, see, you got to do the baby sign, you know, trying to get her to do it. But once she did finally stick to it, her baby started doing it right back to her, because her baby was a little bit older. So it's okay if you forget, just keep doing it. And I think that the next thing I want to tell you guys is baby signs that you should start out with. And this will help you kind of just stick to one thing, and, you know, and just, you know, it is overwhelming whenever you first start. I mean, I wanted everything he was doing, everything he was touching, I wanted to know that sign. But I have found that if you start at mealtime, there are 3 or 4 baby signs that you could do every single mealtime. And for babies, that's like 5, 6 times a day. So here, I'm about to show you them, okay? I'm really excited. I hope that you guys start doing this, because it is such a cool, fun way to communicate with your baby. All right. So the first thing that you should do at mealtime is, once you get them settled into that high chair, you should sign eat. You just put your hand, you know, put your fingertips together like this, and right on your chin, just kind of, you know, eat. And another tip that I want to tell you guys is, don't replace the sign with the word. You still want to say the word. It's okay if your baby is not saying it back to you, but you are saying it. You're not turning into this, you know, mute family or anything. You still say the word. So then it's like backing you up, you know what I mean? You're saying the word, and they're having to visualize something for that. And that helped Ryder start talking so much. So the next thing that can be used at each mealtime is more. You put your fingertips together again, and you just kind of go like this, like more. I think it's just like 2 times, or, you know, just keep doing it. But yes, this is the sign for more, and it would be such an easy time for you to use this sign and try to implement it and try to get them to do it back to you while a snack. You know, if you're sharing a fruit bowl with your child, or even those puffs that you pour over the tray and then they want more, sign and say the word more. And I'm telling you, it made so much better. It's so much better than like your baby like banging on their high chair. You know what I'm saying? Like now they'll just go like this and maybe bang to get your attention or something. But it's just a cute, nice way to communicate with your baby. And I'm telling you, it's so worth it. Once they finally do it to you and they're starting to get it, and once they get one sign, girl, let me tell you, they just start doing all the signs. It's so easy. You just have to stay consistent and keep doing it. So the third sign that I'm going to show you that I think you should definitely implement in at mealtime when you're first starting, and that is please. So you just take your hand and rub it on your chest. This is the sign for please. They look so cute doing it. Yes, so if you're, you know, whipping them up some eggs or something, I would do it before you put the plate down in front of them, and just say, you know, please, and then give it to them. And please, and then give it to them. And every time that you do that, you know, now you're teaching them like little table manners and everything. It's so cute. I love baby signs, if you can't tell. But that's how I taught Ryder, is before giving him the plate, I would say sign and say please, and then I give it to him. Let him have his meal, whatever. At lunchtime comes, before putting that PB&J on that tray, I would say please. And finally, eventually, they will do it back to you. Once they know please, I would sign thank you. And you just put your fingertips to your chin and put your hand out like this. Thank you. Once they know what please is, I would just do it kind of one at a time, you know. If you have an older toddler, like an older baby, because when I taught Ryder, he was 18 months old, so I broke it up like that. But if you're starting with a baby like Max's age, do all of them, just all the time, just do them, especially at mealtime. Like start with the mealtime ones, the 4 mealtime ones that I gave you, And I'm telling you, your baby will start doing signs in no time. For other information on baby signs, you have the internet, of course. If you have any questions, you can let me know, because I know lots about baby signs too. Also, when I first started baby signs, I got on Amazon and I purchased a little book that like fits in your purse, and it has A through Z baby signs. It's got all of these baby signs that I like to keep on hand, so that after he did learn his requesting signs that I just showed you, the 4 that I just showed you, that's when I started anything he was doing, I'd flip through, and like if he's playing with a ball, I'd go to the B section and see if they had a sign for ball or bubbles or, you know, stuff like that. I have a very sweet video of the first time I showed Ryder the sign for bird, because he was looking out the window and saw a bird. So I flipped through my book real quick. I found the sign for bird and I said to him, "Bird, you see a bird?" And we're talking about it and he looks at me and he goes, "Bird." And it was just the cutest thing. It was the cutest and sweetest thing. I love that moment. I love that video. It just made me and Ryder's lives so much easier, you guys. I'm telling you, I went through so much with him. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so emotional. I hate it. But it's me, and I'm just an emotional person, and I want to be me when I'm sitting here talking with you guys. So I don't think I'm gonna cut it out. Hopefully my family doesn't give me too much grief about it, because they know I'm a crybaby. But I'm super passionate about this. I'm super passionate about baby signs. Let me know if you are gonna start using baby signs with your baby, and definitely, you know, go to Amazon and purchase a book if you want to, and let me know if you want another video on baby signs. I can go on and on and on about baby signs. They're so useful, so fun, and just help you communicate with your baby. All right, you guys, that completes this video, baby signs. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed sharing this part of my life with you. I hope that you do baby signs. I'm doing them with Maddox. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button for more content like this. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.